What's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to the Mana Rant episode 18, the Historic Podcast. We specialize in everything historic with a little splash of Commander as well. We are the Mana Dorks. My name is Michael Apollo, and as always, I am joined by Hoshi.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Drunken Dork.
How's it going?
So the way our show works is that we actually follow the phases of Magic. So we have our Untap, Upkeep, Draw main phase, Combat main phase 2, End Step, Cleanup, and Discard. And every turn of Magic is always started with your Untap step. So that's where we open a drink of our choosing and briefly talk about what we're drinking tonight. Yeah, oh God, Hosh, let's untap her up,
Here we
boys.
go, let's untap.
Yeah.
I thought you had
Sweet.
Trulies over there. What the fuck is that?
Those are for our discard phase.
Okay.
I'm not pounding scotch anymore. I don't want to wake up on my kitchen floor again.
probably smart.
Well, if you're gonna do it though, today's the best day, right? Because you don't have to go to work tomorrow.
That's true, but my girlfriend's still waking me up early, so...
So I am drinking Deschutes Fresh Haze IPA. If you haven't known by now, I love my hazy IPAs, and this one's a really good citrus one. Love it a lot, really flavorful. I'm assuming it's whiskey of some time. We'll get over to Hosh. Drunken, what are you drinking this week?
So I'm going. I'm lame today. I'm going with the classic though, Pilsner Urquell. Man, it's a good Pilsner from Czech Republic. I love this shit. I went to the factory in Czech Republic, and it was the cheesiest beer tour. It was like, what are those like videos they showed, like a propaganda? It's like a propaganda like video of like why Pilsner Urquell is the best beer in the world. That when you go through the tour, and it's like fucking ridiculous, but it's a good beer.
That's awesome. Hoshi, what's the gasoline petrol of choice?
So this is a Johnny Walker blenders batch.
Ooh,
so this is a little special thing that they're doing. I don't think it's not one of their normal ones. So it's a triple grain American oak blended Scotch whiskey. And so this one's got 3 different kinds of grain in it. It's got wheat, barley, and corn. It's sweet and creamy with a fresh fruit and gentle spicy smoke to it. And it is super tasty. I'm actually really glad about this. It wasn't that expensive either. So I was at the commissary today, and this one just was begging me to buy it. I mean, for the show, I gotta get it for the show, right?
Yeah.
I'm not an alcoholic.
Yeah. Even though no one has requested that out of you, but yeah, you know, Johnny, walk it up, dude. So that is our Untap step, and every time our Untap is always followed by our Upkeep, and that is going to be the Reddit rant. So I'm going to turn it over to Hoshi, and he's going to tell us what we're ranting about this week.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So, Reddit Rant is a little thing I came up with where I stalk the internet and try and find the craziest rant that I can find on Reddit or whatever other like MTG posting. And mainly we're a historic podcast, so I look at a lot of historic stuff. And I didn't find anything super crazy this week like last week, the Nissa guy. But I did find one, and it's by a YouTube creator, Sticks. Hard name to say, but he's a guy that he's done a lot of like MTG Arena videos, and he is mainly doing historic now because much like how we feel, standard sucks and historic is way more interesting. So he's been doing that, and he went off on one hell of a rant where the title is "The Way WotC Handles the Historic and Its Ban List is Bad." So he basically is he thinks that WotC is not communicating with its community at all, according to him. And I don't know if I completely agree with that. I think they do somewhat communicate with us. But he went off on this giant rant about these 10 topics that he would really like to see WotC communicate to us. And I'm not going to go over all of them because he labels all of them out. And then he gives his justification for each of them and why, and he goes into great detail. If you want to read it, it's pretty good, and you can tell he's pretty worked up and very passionate about it. But first, the first one is number 1. What turn speed do they want historic to be? And we've talked about this on the podcast, right? Like right now, it's solidly what we would say a turn 4, and he wants to know where do they want this to go. He wants a specific answer to that. Next, he says, what are the next lines or ranges of percentages for play rates and win rates which add to the likelihood of banning? Wow, that was a mouthful. So what he wants to know is like, hey, when a deck is being played as like, 40% of the meta, or when its win rate is at like 80%, is that when it's going to get banned? He wants a specific answer on like when are they actually going to ban it. And then to what extent does fun play a role in the likelihood of banning? And what he's talking about there is Nexus of Fate and Agent of Treachery. How when they banned those two, they said, we are banning these because they are not fun. Not that Nexus of Fate is a super busted card. It's just excruciatingly painful to play against, right? Which I think that's a very hard question for them to answer, right? What do you guys think about that? Like for fun, that's super subjective, right?
Yeah, I think fun is definitely like, it's subjective, of course, right? Like fun to me and fun to you is two different things. And I get what, like I actually do understand why WotC did this. And having read this article or rant or whatever this person did, this novel, that I actually agree with WotC on this. Like I think that both those cards are fun to me, but fun to the masses is what they're trying to cater to.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm gonna have to also agree with WotC on this one. If Wizards were to add more cards that can combat these strength, like these like extreme high level strength cards, like spells on the stack, counter it and it's exiled instead, or something that kind of like defeats Nexus of Fate, or like Agent of Treachery, something that can like give you more pro blue, or something to stop like ETB effects, so that way they're just like they're getting those ETBs like crazy. If there was more of those like high level strength cards, then maybe those cards could be fun for everyone. But for right now, I agree with Wizards on this.
I think it's just it's hard for them to say what is fun until they've actually done a polling. And he mentions in this article about their their smiley face versus frowny face thing, when they're like, did you have fun with this? They're not doing it very well, right? They're saying it at the end of the match. So that doesn't say like, hey, was this card unfun or was that card unfun, right? They're just like, was the match unfun? And if I lose, I'm not having fun most of the time, right? So I fully agree with him on that, where they're not asking it at the right time. But also, that's super intrusive for them to be in the middle of the game being like, hey, was that fun when Agent of Treachery stole your card? And you're like, fuck no, it wasn't, right? That wasn't fun. So I don't know. I think that's tricky, and it's really hard for them to actually get that right. All right, next, 4, how WotC feels about the power archetypes, not just specific decks and cards. I think he's asking a little much there. All right, 5, what cards WotC is looking at as being on the edge of banning and unbanning? I think that is I think that's good, and I think they have done that before with Omnath, right? They were saying we're watching this at this point, so I think they do that. I think they're not doing it as publicly, maybe, as Mr. Sticks wants them to, which I think they should. And they do also as well, but the devs do it in a very weird, secret, low-key way. When I was looking into this today, I found something called MTG Arena Dev Tracker, which is super weird, where you can see where the devs comment on like Reddit posts and stuff, which is very strange. Some people will make a rant or something on Reddit, and some Magic Arena dev will comment on their post and be like, actually, we are watching that and blah, blah, blah. But it's so unofficial. They're just like, it's just on a Reddit site. So I think that's pretty weird. All right, next. WotC's position on what power level they want historic in reference to all other formats. I think that's kind of like turn speed, right? Is turn speed and power level different, do you guys think?
It's like game speed. It's actually, this is what we talked about last combat is this basically like the power level of a format is like how we wanted historic going forward, right? If we wanted to be more of a modern like turn 3 or a pioneer turn 5, right? Like that's the power level right there, where the power levels already stepped up because fucking 2019 and forward is so goddamn powerful.
Yeah, so you think power level? So okay, because he already addressed that. In what turn speed do they want historic to be? So you think power level and turn speed are pretty much the same? I believe so too. If you can win at turn 2, that's super powerful, right?
I think they're like one in the same, right? Like
Yeah.
power level determines turn speed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Kind
There's
of.
many factors, right? Like miracle toss on cards, like that mechanic miracle, like drives the power level up, right? Because it doesn't necessarily make the turn speeds faster, but it brings the power level up because it adds more to like a control player's like play style.
Yeah, I think it's complicated because control players, right? Their whole job is to stop, the turn 2 and turn 3 wins, and to slow it down to turn 8 or 20 or whatever, the control track is trying to do. So I think that's a hard thing to answer. All right. And then what they feel is the goal of historic anthologies and its remastered sets. So the remastered sets, I think, would be nice to get some clarification on really what they are doing with those and going forward. But the anthology ones it's pretty clear. They're just trying to throw some cards in there to spice it up, I think. But I mean, are they going to do any more of those? It would be nice to get some clarification on that. I do agree with him there.
Yeah.
And then let's see how they plan on addressing the issue of reprints, both in terms of the economy as well as the cluttering of the outdated deck builder. We've talked about that for sure, about the double reprints. That is just disgusting. We've thoroughly gone over that. How they could address historic in ways other than bannings.
I like this one a lot.
Yeah, that one's good. Like by introducing maybe counter cards. And I know, Apollo, you talk about that a lot. Like whenever there's a strong deck, your goal is to build a counter for that deck, right? I disagree somewhat with you because you can counter one deck, but then your counter deck will probably be awful against many other decks, right? Against the number 1 power deck. Sure, you'll beat that deck, right? But yeah, so should they introduce more cards, I think, to counter the top deck? Yeah, I think that's a good way of going forward. And they don't address that, I don't think. Do you guys think they ever talk about that? I've never heard it.
So when or you could go, Michael.
No, go ahead.
Okay,
please.
so when I read this, what this person was referring to, like here, it was like how they could address historic in ways other than bannings. What I read in this little segment of his fucking novel is that they could do things like have like weekly events where they have like unbanned cards. Like Nexus of Fate, whatever, Veil, fucking whatever, Veil, something of Veil.
Oh, Veil of Summer.
Veil of Summer. Yeah, where they unban those in an event. And then, like, afterwards, they get feedback from people to see, like, how they enjoyed it. And, like, they can look at the statistics there and see, like, how often those cards improved, like, gameplay or like decks, different types of decks. Like I think out of everything I read, I liked this part the most because this person really this person put a lot of care into this fucking thing he wrote, and and it is well written, and I definitely think there is better ways that WotC could go about doing this, and what he is saying there is great. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I think like something also that they could address is, but I guess that kind of goes in with some of the other things that he was saying. But yeah, I would like that. Maybe they can do events, Like, I mean, they have Historic Brawl Fest events. Like, maybe they can have an event where it's like, hey, we're going to unban these 3 cards, and we're going to add these 3 cards that are not in, and we're just going to give them to you. You have access for it for this event. So maybe that's like a way they can test, like, anthology sets or the Time Spiral that they have mentioned that they're going to do.
They have done that. I mean? Yeah, they brought Black Lotus in for these, like, special... Yeah. I don't know. Remember if you guys remember that they did that weird thing where you were playing with these super powerful sets where they were playing with like not historic, vintage
9
cards. Yeah, they were playing. You were playing vintage decks in here. And you're like, what? These are in arena, right? That was crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
like
a good point.
Yeah, that's something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That's a good point. All right, and then the last part is how does Wizards plan on promoting historic? And in here, he's talking about how he thinks that Wizards actually hates historic based on how they were trying to price double wild cards for historic cards at first. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was like crazy, right? Everyone was in an uproar about that. Like, why is it double for an eternal format to get an old card now? They're really pushing it, and at that point it seemed like they were really pushing standard super hard, that they want everyone to play standard, which, I mean, we've always known that about Wizards. They love standard. They want people to play standard, but why do they hate historic when it seems like it's such a popular format? This is one of the ones that people want to play their eternal cards. So he wants to know how they're going to promote it. Have they promoted it at all? I don't think they have. Have you guys? What do you guys think about this, Apollo?
Minimal effect at all. What they need to do is they need to do how they do with all other box sets. Like, it's obvious with how 2020 has been going on. Digital is how it's going to go forward. Arena is extremely popular, as flawed as it could be in many different ways, but it's also highly successful in other ways. Private people have done tournaments. Wizards has done tournaments through Arena, like the Mythic Championship and stuff like that. So what they need to do is promote. If you're going to have like box sets and then you have like your spoilers and stuff like that, well, show Historic some love, like give us some spoilers, give us some information about the anthologies or the direction that you want to go in, or what can we do to want to do these tournaments. I think what's really sad is what you're saying about how like they just love standard. And yeah, maybe back in the day, standard was their money, like that was their money pig, right? But it's clearly not anymore. People are upset with standard. It's been a shit format for literal years, right?
Yeah.
And then every time, like I remember like on YouTube when the Pro Tour would come out, standard would have considerably less views when the Pro Tour was a standard format. But when it was modern, boom, like, I mean, I was watching that shit live. Like, yeah, I would love to watch modern. Get with the program. Understand what your people like, understand what your people want, and cater towards that. I understand you want to make money. Hello, this is how you make money. People love this format, Focus
to your
on
fans.
This.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can make all the greedy money you want. And, for zeros and ones and cardboard, man, I'm going to buy them, But give us some love, I think. Give us some love. Give us some more information. That's how I think they can promote.
You know what? I am going to actually disagree with you. So I actually do think, so first I want to say that, what's this, Therix 6.
Sticks, just call them Sticks. Yeah.
I think this person, they kind of contradicted themselves because they were, they start with saying that Wizards of the Coast doesn't listen to the players. They don't, and they do, obviously, because like you said, he mentions that originally they were going to start charging players 2 fucking wild cards for a wild card, but then the player, there was so much outrage behind it, and people are like, no one's going to play historic, that they're like, okay, yeah. So then they start to, and I do think they're actually more now than they definitely were. They're starting to advertise historic more. Like the front page of Arena has been like Kaladesh remastered, and that's not in standard, and it's been like nothing but Kaladesh remastered. So the moment you turn on Arena, you see Kaladesh remastered, and you see the draft formats, And you know, like you see historic on the side when you want to play. Like before, they were kind of like hiding the historic. It was like the ugly stepchild, you know. And I think now they have been promoting it a lot more. Obviously, it's never going to be 100% like what I think they should be doing, but like they definitely can't do nothing but historic, right? They have to promote standard because that is the golden child of the set. It sells the most packs because like you know, like otherwise they wouldn't be making new sets, right? So I think they have to put it behind standard, but I do think they have been stepping it up a lot. I just do wish, like what he said, like I do wish they would fucking voice more of like where they want this format to go. It seems like it's like they're just like fucking shooting first, asking questions later with this format. Like, okay, we're gonna add a historic set. Okay, we're gonna go back to Pioneer, but we don't know what we're gonna do in between then. Like, and we're not gonna let anyone know what we're gonna do between then.
Yeah,
you know. So
and it's all gonna be. It's all going to be remastered sets back to Pioneer too.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the full thing. So what are they doing? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That's a very good point. And also, like standard is important for new players too because it's a smaller card pool, so it's easier for them to get into as well, right? So it's important for them, even though it's a shit format, right? It's good for beginners. So that's a good point. Well, I think that'll wrap it up pretty much for this Reddit rant. This was a quite a rant by Mr. Sticks or whatever. So Mr. Six, thank you for your insane rant. That was beautiful, and we loved it. So you guys should check it out. And that'll be it. Back to you, Paula.
So that was our upkeep, and after that is always followed by our draw phase, and that's just real quick. What Magic formats have we been playing this week, and how we've been enjoying it? So I'm going to turn it over to Drunken Dork. What have you been doing this week in Magic?
Man, that Reddit rant went so long, I drank my whole first fucking beer. So, I had to pour my other one already.
Nice.
This week, so I have been fucking owning it up. And like last week when we did our budget decks, I've been playing almost nothing but my budget deck, and I've been killing it. Like, I'm not kidding. That deck is really good. Like, it's super powerful. It holds its own, and I only played the ladder. So, you know, I've been losing games, and I've been winning games. Like, I've definitely, like, been winning more, though, than I've been losing. And so I'm making my way up to Diamond. I went up, fell down, went up, fell down, you know, the grind. But mostly nothing but historic and nothing but my budget deck.
Nice, dude.
Nice.
So if you guys haven't seen it, make sure you check out that episode so you guys can get the deck list for our competitive budget decks. They're really, really good. And honestly, I actually saw your deck. Someone was playing like a mono white enchantments. I'm not sure if they saw it. I mean, it's.
The deck's around. I put some of my own cards in it, like, but for the most part, there are other people. It is a well-known budget deck. They generally run a few more rare cards in it than what I have.
Hoshi, what have you been doing this week in Magic?
So it's been very brief. I've been super busy this week, but I did make a Explore deck actually, which is pretty sweet actually. If you guys don't remember, the Explore package was the scourge of Standard back in the day. Where it's all the the Explorer creatures like the Elemental and all those other ones in there. Yeah, so I added Panharmonicon and what's the other, Aetherflux Reservoir and all that stuff in there with Bolus's Citadel and Karn and all this stuff. And I mean, it's working out. It's working out great. The Explorer package still strong. Yeah, so nice. That one's pretty fun. I mean, I barely got to play it, but it's been some fun games with that so far.
I love Explore. That was like definitely one of my decks back in Standard. As for myself, I am climbing that ladder and failing miserably. I think like Wizards or I think like Arena like just loves just like teasing me. Like it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna do good. I was in Diamond 4. I could not even get a fucking win. I mean, I couldn't get anything. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna rebrew goblins, and I'm just going back to goblins, and I'm gonna climb this ladder. And I got all the way up to Diamond 1. Some matches were super big brain. I have like a lot of sideboards, so you got to like kind of like take out some key pieces, destroy whatever your opponent's trying to do, and then maintain that like goblin aggro hate, get that Muxus down. And other times, like I would do like Shirk Prospector, and then like turn to Wily Goblin, and they see that I already have like access, like he must have a third land because he's going to get turn 3 Muxus. As soon as they do that, they're like, concede. I'm like, sweet. And then they'll just concede. Other people would like rope. So anyway, I climbed insanely high. I was 2 wins away from getting Mythic, my dream. And Wizards is like, not only are you going to lose every single match, you're going to either flood or get the exact card you don't need, or just... And it was just horrible. And I was like, all right, well, that's just only 2 losses. I could come back. And it's just like loss, land. I mean, I'm a goblin deck, and I got more lands than the Bant deck, Like, the fuck's up with that? I got 10 fucking mountains in Castle Embereth, and this guy's like struggling to like get anything with Euro or Uro, and I'm like, he's like fiddling, and I still can't get anything. It's just all the way down, back. Fucking Diamond 4, 0 wins. Like, horrible.
That's rough. That's rough.
That happens, dude. That does happen, though.
I feel like sometimes you just need to turn it off, walk away, and then come back to it. Because
some days the arena has it out for you.
I find like as for all you guys out there know, we also love Commander, and Historic Brawl is like my closest thing to Commander on arena. And so I find like, okay, my competitive edge is not happening for me today. I'm going to brew Historic decks or Historic Brawl decks, and I made my Joyra deck, and it's
sweet,
pretty spicy. It is super Dexter baiting. It is just me doing all the things, and
nice.
until I find like Aetherflux Reservoir and get you for 50 damage.
Sweet,
or
nice.
Pay 50, yeah. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. So that is our draw phase, and after that we're gonna go into our main phase. So by the time you see this, Thanksgiving has already passed, and whether or not that's your kind of thing, I think we can all say 2020 sucks, and it's important to be thankful and positive and, kind of maintain a good attitude. And so what we thought would be cool was to talk about what we're thankful for in the game that we love the most in 2020. So I'm going to turn it back over to Drunken Dork. And what are you thankful for in the game of Magic?
So this is a cheesy one, right? But like you said, this is Thanksgiving, and that was always a tradition in my house. Is like on Thanksgiving, you'd be like, "What are you thankful for?" type of thing, and really fucking cheesy and like almost cult-like when I think back to it. And but like I think 2020 has definitely been a fucking crazy year, and if anything, it has made like it has like brought some more interesting things in my life to Magic the Gathering, like. Number one, we have a podcast now, right? This is fucking awesome. So I am very thankful for that. Every week we get together, we do this, we talk about it. It has me playing Historic a lot more, which my wife probably isn't happy about that, but whatever. I'm thankful for it. And that I think that is great. And then my other one is actually Spell Table. I think it's a really cool platform, and I don't think it would exist or be as prevalent as it is if it wasn't for 2020. I'm not saying 2020 is a good thing, but I'm saying that it being around is a great thing. Like it is definitely like some of the nights where I like my wife goes to sleep and I'm up and I can't sleep, like just fucking sit there and play Commander with a bunch of random people, and I love it, man. I think it's really good. So 2020 has been poop, but for as far as Magic goes, it's been a pretty cool year, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Excuse me, agreed. Hoshi, what about you?
All right, so let's do 2 then, because I didn't even think about that. But I am thankful for doing this podcast with you guys. I mean, we are not just 3 random dudes that are doing a podcast together. We're friends, and it's just nice to be able to at least get together once a week with us. We all have crazy schedules, and BS about Magic, but in a more structured format than we normally do, right? So I always have fun and look forward to doing this, actually, which is why we do it, because we are making $0.
And we have a total of like 20 people that watch it weekly.
But it's fun. I have fun doing this, and so I'm glad that we do this. But other than that, I am thankful that Wizards of the Coast is not run by Blizzard. Because yeah. So you guys know the card game Hearthstone, right?
Yeah.
So we all kind of, bitch about the monetization of Magic the Gathering, right? And I was just trying to say it can be much worse. It could be Blizzard. Hearthstone, like we said, it would be cool to have dusting in the game, right? Which was one of the cool things about Hearthstone. Hearthstone's monetization is out of control, apparently. They have had multiple strikes from players, and they're currently going through one right now. They made the monetization worse. Their battle passing they made it more complicated to get the actual rewards, and you get less rewards from it recently. So their players are up in arms. That was actually going to be my Reddit rant this today. Was some guy was talking about how I switched to Magic the Gathering Arena. Maybe you should too, on the Hearthstone Reddit page. And he was saying that when he switched over to the arena economy is so much more generous than the Hearthstone economy is. Like you get all these beginner decks. There's all the promo codes and stuff where you get all these packs and everything. So there's a ton of stuff that you get initially when you join the game. It's very friendly to new players. I mean, for our aspect where we're content creators and stuff, where we're trying to get as much as we can, it's rough for us, right? At the higher end of trying to obtain all of the cards in Magic, it's crazy, right? But for it could be worse, is what I'm saying. I'm thankful that our game is not Hearthstone right now, because it sounds like their economy is absolute trash.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to agree with you guys. I'm gonna go with the podcast thing as well, and to just give a very short backstory. We're all lifetime friends. But the funny thing is that we all played Magic the Gathering when we were kids. Incorrectly, of course, as every kid does.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
But somehow, when we became friends in high school, and then we're all kind of sheepishly well, yeah, I play Magic, so what? And then it's well, I play Magic too. I mean, I've been playing since I was a kid, and I remember Houston, you were oh, I used to go to tournaments when I was a kid. To have that now is an amazing feeling, because all three of us are still friends to this day. We still play Magic extensively. And I love the game. It's the best game in the entire world. I absolutely adore Magic. I love Commander. I love Historic. When I played Standard, I loved it. There's certain blocks that are very precious to my heart. In 2020, a lot like what Drunken was saying, I'm thankful that technology and the ability to adapt pushes the game forward in a positive way, I think. Obviously, with Arena getting better and better by the day, this is something that all of us have wanted when we used to play Hearthstone. Man, if Magic just did something like this, this would be this would kill it, And they did it. And it's amazing. Spell table, being able to play Commander in these times, it's not only can I play with my two buds, I can play with my other friends that I live with in Arizona. Or I think what's great is I can play with randoms across the world. And I think that's something that you should cherish. It's a really great feeling. You're still able to maintain and play the game. The algorithm to recognize cards, I think, is a great addition. I don't think it's a Band-Aid to the problem or what we've been going through in 2020. I think going forward, this is going to be the future for playing Commander or paper in general. So I'm very thankful for that. And for the podcast, as I've said, touching into our backstory, this is just something that we've kind of already done. We just like to talk shit and joke around, drink some beers, and play the game we love. And we all had this idea of why don't we try recording this, man? I mean, what else are we doing? Maybe people will like this. Maybe people will think it's funny. Maybe people will appreciate the information that we're saying. And you know what? If they don't, then you know what? Fuck it. I don't care, because I love it. I love doing it. I'm having fun with you guys. I'm having fun with you guys. True. I'm having fun with everyone out there that's listening in, tuning in. So be sure to subscribe. No, I'm sorry. That's not a plug. But 2020 2020 has been rough on all of us, and I'm thankful that I can play this game that I love, not only by myself, but with my two best friends and with everyone out there. So thank you,
Cheers
everyone.
to that, brother.
Cheers.
Happy Thanksgiving. Cheers to all of you. With that being said, after our main phase is combat, let's get a little violent over here. So we have some good feels. We got some good feels in there, some eggnogs.
Nice.
And now we're going to go into combat. And this week's combat is going to be roundtable again. Until we think of like a really good combative situation for Drunken Dork and Hoshi to get into, I think we're going to do this until we figure something out. We just don't want to like do dumb stuff. You know, we want to have a good combat. So this week, we're going to do, what do we think of the current ban restricted list for Historic? This is something that we've mentioned quite a few times on the show, but you know, the meta is always adapting. It's always changing. It's always ever flowing. So I guess now we can talk about like what we feel about some cards. So I'm just going to name a card. You two just quickly think it should stay banned. If there's something that should be unbanned, we'll discuss it. So Agent of Treachery. Well, I guess let's start with suspended. Omnath, Locus of Creation. Should it stay suspended?
Unsuspended.
Hoshi.
Yeah, I agree. I think it should be unsuspended at this point. It's a 4-mana card. It's hard to drop. Yeah, I'd say unsuspended.
4 mana, 4 colors too. Like that's
4 mana, 4 colors. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very good, but I mean,
yeah, give it a chance. Historic is powerful. It's a turn 4 format. There's a lot of things that can get rid of it. It's not overpowering in Historic. Give it a shot.
No.
Let us see it. Agent of Treachery. Drunken.
I know Hoshi's going to disagree with me on this one, but unban that motherfucker. I love Agent of Treachery. It's 7 mana. Like, fucking just let it be in. You know, I love it.
Hoshi.
And keep it banned. Yeah, keep it banned.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. No. Oh no, I was just gonna say, because of the amount of ways to cheat it in, generally, I think is the main problem with it. Not like 7 mana, is a lot of mana, but being able to cheat in and steal any permanent is pretty crazy, and then being able to blink it, you know, it just makes it's just crazy. And not only that, it's like they said when they banned it. It's not fun to get your stuff taken away. You know what? It sucks to get your stuff exiled, right? But it's so much worse to watch your stuff traverse the board to the other side. So I do think it's that like ultimate feel bad of the card that keeps it. You know, it's good, but yeah, it's the feel bads that actually make it. Yeah, keep it banned.
It definitely makes you feel like an empty fucking husk when you lose something that's like precious in your deck, right? To Agent of Treachery.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like in the middle of this. I'm saying unban it, but you need to add cards that are stronger. You need to be able to stop the ETBs. I think that's the main reason why it's banned. Not necessarily for its singular ability, but the ability to bounce continually and steal your entire opponent's board. So you need to have another card that's extremely powerful to stop those effects while it's on the stack, or so where it can only do it once. In that case, unban it. If they have those cards in Historic, unban it. I want to see it. Feel the Dead. Drunken.
I'm gonna say restrict this card. So Legacy and Vintage, they have restricted cards where you can only have like 1 or 2 in your deck. I wish they would do that with Field of the Dead. I think that would be great, because I don't think it's a broken card. It is when you have 4 and you have like 4 out because of Golos or some other way. So I think if they restricted this down to 2 of a max in your deck, I think this card would be fine, and I think it's a good card still.
Hoshi.
I absolutely agree. I think it should have been a legendary card to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't think it should have been just a normal card like that. I think if you have 1 in the deck, it still generates value at the high end, but you're not just shitting out a ton of zombies like that. So yeah, I 100% agree with Drunken.
Yep, I agree with you both. Either errata it so that way it's legendary, or do the restricted. Take advantage of what Vintage does and allow like 2 in the deck. That sounds fair. Fires of Avention. Drunken.
Unban it, actually. I think. Unban this thing.
Hoshi.
I 100% agree. Unban it. It's a crazy card. It generates a lot of value, but a lot of stuff does right now. And it has a downside to it of not being able to cast instants on your opponent's turn and only 2 spells per turn. So I think its downside is pretty bad, and it has to go in decks with very high-end punishing type stuff. So I think in the current meta that we're in, it should be unbanned.
Agree. Unban. There's a lot of things that cheat mana, cheat creatures like Aetherworks Marvel. There's a bunch of cheater cards in there, and this card is definitely the lesser of the evils that we see in current Historic. And you know what? If it is a problem, then sideboard correctly or add in hate. I don't know. It's a very easy card to get rid of and counter. Nexus of Fate. Drunken.
Keep it banned.
Hoshi.
Keep it banned. Yeah, I think the main downfall with Nexus of Fate was that it did not exile itself. It was an instant that gave you extra turns, which is crazy. Most things that give you extra turns are of sorcery speed. This one was an instant that went back into your deck. What? What the fuck were they thinking when they made this card? Yeah, keep it banned for absolute sure.
Yep, keep it banned. Once again, if you want to see this card unbanned, then Wizards, you need to add in instant spells that exile instead of graveyard. That's the only way to stop this card, and the only way that it should be back into Historic. All right, Drunken. Oko, Thief of Crowns, the sexy dude bro planeswalker.
So I think they should do a week where they have this unbanned in like just like a special event just to see how it does. I want to see how it would be in the meta because it's been banned for so long. I have no idea, like I just want to know. But for the most part, I say keep it banned, but that would be interesting to like have a week of having it unbanned in like some special event.
Interesting. Hoshi.
I like that. I mean, I think that's a cool idea. I think that's a cool idea with almost all of these cards.
Yeah.
Right. Just like have a special event of like unbanned insanity, right? event. But yeah, I mean, Oko was just a huge fucking. That's one of those cards where you look at it and you're like, how did R&D fuck this up? I get it with some cards where they're like, this could be good, right? And then it just turns out to be crazy. Anyone looks at Oko and they're like, this is just a disgusting card. Keep it banned, please, God.
Yeah, I'm down too. I would like to see it unbanned in some shape or form, or maybe like do an event, just test it out, see how it is. He's a cool planeswalker. He was definitely overpowered and too broken when he was in standard. But
he was in every format.
Pool, yeah, I mean you had to run blue green, but I think in this instance there's plenty of cards in the card pool that can deal with them. And I think also on the flip side, to give something to Oko, he actually stops other issue cards like Aetherworks Marvel or people trying to cheat out Ulamog and stuff. So maybe release it in an event, and so that way we can see. All right, Once Upon a Time, Drunken.
Man, I fucking love this card, but I think unfortunately it needs to stay banned.
Hoshi.
Yeah, I mean the 0 mana cost, and then you could just with the new mulligan system that they're utilizing. I think it needs to stay banned. If it was the old system, maybe not, but with the new London mulligan, yeah, for sure it needs to stay banned.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean I agree with both of you guys. I love this card. I want this card back in so bad. I ran this all the time, but I ran it in fair decks, and it was to help me get my land drops. I can easily see this Sultai Bant just abusing the shit out of this.
Yeah.
They're already
yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All right, Teferi Time Raveler, Drunken.
Keep that motherfucker banned, man. I love this card, but like, dude, let's play some Magic. I don't want to play Hearthstone, right? Like, let's keep it like that.
I like that analogy. Hoshi, I'm assuming you agree because you've openly expressed how much you love Teferi.
Oh yeah, I hate all Teferis mainly, but I mean this is like one of those cards where you play it, it feels so good and disgusting at the same time. It needs to stay banned, absolutely.
Definitely stays banned. I've seen some people who are Azorius and Esper players, and they're saying this is the card they need to make control viable again. Sure. But I think they could very
No.
easily just make something else or bring something else out, like Supreme Verdict or
Yeah.
something, to make control.
Oh, yeah, that Supreme Verdict would be sick.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that card. Yeah.
Not Teferi. Not Teferi.
No.
Veil of Summer, Drunken Dork.
Yeah, for the time being, this like green is so powerful. It's like once upon a time, we don't need these like super powerful things in green right now. I love this card once again. I think it's great. I think eventually they need to unban it, but for now, it needs to stay banned.
Hoshi.
Okay, so I disagree. I think in a special scenario, this should be banned in best of 3, but it should be unbanned in best of 1 because it only works on green, or no, it only works on black and blue, right? That's the only time that it triggers. It's a completely dead card if your opponent isn't playing black or blue. And so this is an absolute side card if you're playing best of 3. But if you're playing best of 1, which is a format in Arena, if you're main boarding this, you're kind of a mad lad, right? Like this has got to be something that is like high up in the format. If you're running against Muxus and you have this in your card, it's a dead card. It does absolutely nothing for you. So I think that this is a unban in best of 1 and keep it banned in best of 3.
I actually like that. Yeah, I agree.
Interesting. Yeah, I agree with that as well. This card is it's crazy. This is an uncommon. This is a very powerful fucking card.
It's so good, right?
It was like a $5 uncommon when it first came out.
Oh
It was
my God.
crazy.
Like this card just does everything for
Yeah,
green. Like
yeah.
I'm doing all the things, and I'm swinging
Yeah.
in, and you can't do
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, it feels so good when you cast it too.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. It just feels so good when they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna counter that." Like, actually,
actually, you're not, and I'm drawing a card. Wow.
and Quested
One man.
Beast is gonna kill your Teferi too. You know, like it's just like WW fucking E, like Sunday Slam,
yeah.
dude.
It's great.
Oh,
Such a
love
good
it.
combat trick.
Yeah. All right.
Except Teferi wouldn't let you cast it because Teferi's a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Well, fuck Teferi. No. All right. Wilderness Reclamation, Drunken.
Keep it banned, and if they ever unban it and you play it against me, I hate you. I just want you to know that because this card, like, it doesn't matter how good of a Magic player you are, like how quick you
Yeah.
are. It's just too slow for Arena. Too slow.
Yep. Hoshi.
I 100% agree. I hate this card so much. It's a cool effect, but it's just, it's so... This is the fun factor that we were talking about,
Yeah.
and this is supremely unfun to play against.
This is just I get what I need on a stick. It's dumb magic. It's not a good card. Don't like it. I don't care. It's just Panharmonicon at least like needs a trigger, right? Like you need to have a requirement to trigger, not just
Love
like
it.
oh, it's just the end of my turn, so I get to do all the things again. No, have a trigger at least. Yeah, keep it banned. Winota, Joiner of Forces, Drunken.
So I'm gonna actually, so Hoshi said earlier, like, I definitely think this card should be unbanned because with things like Muxus, right? Like, I'm gonna take the words out of your mouth, Hoshi, but it basically is Muxus, except it's red and white, and it's not as good, I don't think, personally.
What was the ban reason?
I think it was initially because Agent of Treachery.
Yeah.
Because he's a human that would be able to be procced in by it. But they banned Agent of Treachery too. And in Historic at the time, I think it was just like one of the top decks where it was just running kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Because it was cheating mana. But now there's so many other mana cheats in there. I don't think that this card is that good. Because of the restriction of it, right? You have to split the deck between non-humans and humans, and it's a 2-color deck that's requiring Boros, which is not this. There's how many times do you run into a Boros deck in the Historic ladder,
Right.
huh? I'm gonna go with 0.
Unless you're playing against
probably.
me.
Yeah, or an equipment deck. Some like lunatic playing the the crazy equipment strategy, which is fun. But I think that why this card makes no sense to be banned right now. I don't get it. It's it needs very specific conditions for it to go off, and there's no Agent of Treachery anymore. What is the most powerful human that you can really pull in that has an ETB or something with this? I don't think that there is one. I don't know why this is banned. It should still at least be suspended. So this is my main stickler of this entire list for where I really think this should be unbanned. Especially Boros. Fuck you, Wizards. Why do you hate Boros so much? Huh? I love Boros. Why do you hate them? Why? Why do you hate Boros?
Dude, yeah. No, I completely agree. Unban it. I am trying very hard to think of a human that breaks this. And I can't. Yeah. Let us know in the comments below, or if you're listening on a podcast, shoot us an email at drunkenmanadorks@gmail.com. That's DRUNKEN manadorks@gmail.com. And let us know, because I honestly can't figure it out. Honestly, I think this is like a great side option for Boros Colossal Hammer. Like, if you don't get that nut draw, then Winota can like find the human that attaches the equipment. And like, that's a turn 4 thing. Like, that's not broken. And it dies to removal. Like, I don't know. I don't know why. Bring it back.
Yeah. Agreed. Let's ban Veto. If this, let's ban Veto if we're going to ban this card. Well, like, what? Why? He has an infinite combo, for fuck's sake.
I don't know why they hate Boros so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most powerful guild, right? Like, no, dude, what?
No, and Commander, it is like the weakest guild.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep, that is our combat step. Let us know in the comments below. What do you guys think about the current ban and restricted list? Do you guys think Omnath should be unsuspended? Is there any cards that you can think of that kind of like Winota abuses? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're listening in on wherever you get your podcast, be sure to follow us on YouTube at The Manadorks. And give us a subscribe if you haven't. Click that bell notification. It really helps the channel a lot. And for everyone that's returning and they're faithful and watch our videos every week, we super appreciate you. We love you guys so much. So, moving on, we go into our main phase 2, or as I would like to say, the Apollo loses game. So I'm going to turn it over to Drunken, and he's going to tell us how we're going to play this week.
Oh, shit.
All right, everybody. Here we are, second main, and I am here to bring you your daily or weekly dose of the horseshit card game. And this is a game where I name 4 magic cards, and it's up to these two, one more drunk than the other, drunken idiots, to figure out which one of these cards is fake. And this week, like all weeks, I'm going thematic, and you know what? If there were more holidays, I would do this more often, but I am going ultra thematic, and you guys will see. So are you two ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do this.
So
let's lose, baby.
The first one is Turducken. It is 4 blue-green. It is a creature bird at rare from Unhinged. It has flying.
Oh, fuck. Unhinged.
Yeah, and it says, during your upkeep, you may stand up and gobble like a turkey, quack like a duck, and balk like a chicken. If you do, you may draw a card. You can only do this once per turn. Okay? The second card is a Feto Vulture. It is 4 black. It is a creature zombie bird at uncommon from Onslaught. It has flying, and it says, when a Feto Vulture is put into a graveyard from play, you may put target zombie card from your graveyard on top of your library. And it is a 3/2. All right? So they're all birds. It's Thanksgiving, birds, turkeys. You know what I'm saying?
Yum, yum.
Okay.
All right. The next one is Clockwork Condor. It is 4 colorless mana. It's an artifact creature bird, add common from Mirrodin. Has flying, and says Clockwork Condor comes into play with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever Clockwork Condor attacks or blocks remove a +1/+1 counter from it at the end of combat, and it is a 0/0. And then the final one is Tide Hollow Strix. It is blue and black. It is an artifact creature, bird at common, and it is from Shards of Alara. Has flying and death touch, and it is a 2/1. So those are the 4 cards. This week, I am starting it off with Hoshi. What do you think, Hoshi? Which one is it?
I'm going to go with the Turducken.
Turducken.
From the Unhinged. Yeah.
All right. Apollo,
right.
what do you got for me?
I think Turducken is a card. It sounds ridiculous, but it sounds like it would fit Unhinged. The last card, I am pretty sure I know that card and have it. I think I used to play it in my Aloro deck. So it's between the Vulture and the Condor. And I'm going to go. I'm going to go with the Condor as horseshit.
Okay, so Clockwork Condor and Turducken. Well, Hoshi gets it again. You know what? I thought maybe it sounded so ridiculous, like you said, that you guys wouldn't get it. But yeah, Hoshi got it. Michael, you there with me? Come on. We have to call 911 over here.
I really needed it. I needed this one.
Oh, I thought you were both going to get this. But,
oh my god.
Apollo, you'll lose
You know
again.
what? I was like preparing to like post up the meme on the vid of like Mo from The Simpsons where he's staring at the news. So he's like, "Not today, old friend." You know, and like I was like, "Yeah, today's gonna be the day. I'm getting this one." Ah, damn it, dude. Dear fucking diary. I hate this game. I hate it. I fucking lose all the time. Oh well.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Oh god, Hoshi's like losing his shit over.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my god.
That is the horseshit card game. Let us know in the comments below. Did you guess Turducken? I thought Turducken would be a card. Unhinged has such ridiculousness. Or are you just like
so good?
Are you a failure like me and guessed wrong again? So let us know in the comments below. And thank you for playing along with us. So after our main phase 2 is always our end step, and that's just other shit we've been doing this week. So I'm going to turn it over to Johnny Walker. What have you been doing this week?
Oh my god. I've just been moving, man. So my old place that I'm moving out of, I've lived in for 3 years at this point. And I'm trying to get any of my security deposit back at this point. It's so dirty. I can't even believe it was way too big for me to begin with. So I'm surprised how like huge it is, and I'm trying to clean it and get rid of so much stuff because my new place is smaller than my old one. So I'm trying to get rid of a lot of stuff at the same time. It's just, dude, I've been stressed, man. Just trying to get rid of this. Like I'm in here now. Like, this is at least a little bit, like, I just set this up before we got in here, barely. So this is going to be my new studio. So I'm going to, the nice thing is this is my house. I own this. So I'm going to turn this room into a fucking little sanctuary for me. Like Drunken Dorks right now. Yours looks fucking awesome, dude. I love it. I love your room. So, yeah, stand by. This will be pretty cool.
Cool.
God knows how long. Yeah, that's it.
Nice, dude. Drunken, what about you?
So I got my PlayStation in, and I've been playing a lot of video games over the past week since the last podcast. I started playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I'm not an Assassin's Creed fan, but I think Vikings are fucking dope, and it's really fun, like going around and just murdering people like with an axe and a bow and arrow. I love it. So, yeah, I've been playing that. I've been playing still Tetris Effect. My wife is freaking addicted. She's, like, waiting for me to finish the podcast so she can come in here and play more Tetris Effect.
Oh, shit, dude.
And, cool. Yeah, that's about it. Nothing too exciting this week. Just a lot of video games.
Nice. Agreed. Yeah, as for myself, I've just been catching up on The Mandalorian, and holy shit.
Ooh,
yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Dude, that baby Yoda, man, so cute. so
cute.
goddamn cute. Yeah.
Fucking adorable.
Yeah.
But which like kind of like led to what I'm about to talk about. So actually, I've been watching all the Star Wars movies again. I finished episodes 4, 5, and 6, and episodes 1 and 2. And the reason being is because we're thinking about doing a new series. As you've all known, we're some avid nerds, and Star Wars is something that's very dear to all three of us. So we're actually thinking about doing a new series, like whether it's like a Star Wars retrospective, or where we just like discuss each movie. I think it would be best if we just like discuss each movie down the line, talk about some main points, things that we like, don't like, yada yada, so on and so forth. So if that's your kind of thing, if you like, Star Wars as well as magic, let us know in the comments below if that's something you want to see, because that's something that we're really excited about doing. And we're also considering doing some Let's Plays. So I've been trying. So the idea I had was visual novels, dating sims, and like kind of like I can't like think of the term for it. But the game is called like Danganronpa, which is like kind of like a Phoenix Wright, like a lawyer game, like where you like it's like a mystery detective game, but it's like all visual.
Oh, Ace Lawyer or whatever that
Ace
was.
Detective or whatever. Phoenix
oh
Wright.
Yeah.
I think it would be silly. I think it would be funny. So like the idea that I had behind it was I would play the game first, and then I want these two to go in blind, and we all play together on stream, and like let those two like decide the places like or the choices that are made, and figure out some mysteries, date some silly anime girls, or solve some cases. So it could be something pretty funny. And if that's something you guys would like to see, some Let's Plays or some video games. Let us know in the comments below, and that's something that we're heavily considering. So that is our end step. Now we're going into our cleanup and discard. Social media promo. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all at the Manadorks. You can search up the Mana Rant. That's also a searchable term. You can get us on wherever you get your podcasts, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, Alexa, Google, whatever. Whatever the fuck you get it, we got it. So take us on the road. Take us on wherever you want to go. And also, episode 20 is fast approaching. I'm not going to spoil it. We're going to spoil it on our Instagram and our Facebook down the line. But definitely on episode 20, we're gonna do something a little fun, and it's all for y'all. So be sure to stay tuned for that. And other than that, you can also follow us on Instagram. Myself at Michael Butler Bro, Drunken Dork at Drunken Dork, and Hoshi at Super Houston. Be sure to give us a follow to stay updated on everything we post, funny memes, silly videos, cute doggies and kitties, stuff of that nature. So that is it. This is our discard. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We love you all so much.
Yeah,
we gotta finish the drinks. So we really appreciate it. Nothing would happen without you guys. So thank you. Everyone have a very happy and safe holiday, and cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Very true. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Cheers.
Oh my god.
No, a little slow-mo over there.
Baby gonna cry, can't wait to chill.
Oh man.
You're gonna feel
After
really
I just
good tomorrow. Real good.
Oh man.